What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of 49ers Unfiltered. I am 49ers First Takes. I am Aaron. This is Mike from SF Gold Rush. And for the next hour or so, we're going to talk about the latest free agency news after about a week of free agency. We have actually some breaking news that happened not too long ago, another piece added to the receiving core. We'll try to bang that out, talk about all like the relevant topics for the next hour, and then we'll let you people get on with the rest of your day. Mike, we were pretty negative before free agency started, or at least I was, but you were too, that they were going to sit on their hands. We were, the Barrows comment and all that stuff. I wouldn't say that they've like gotten that one player that's like a game changer, like a Max Crosby or anything, but they definitely have been more active than we thought they were going to be. But they're doing it in the 49ers way. They're not overpaying for anybody. Everything is like a strategic move. We get on the Niners for being cheap sometimes and doing things the way that they do, but it's kind of interesting that they're doing things the way they usually do it, but it's actually working this offseason.
It is. So John Lynch, he's like slow cooking. You know what I mean? He's not like cooking with gas right now, but he's slow cooking, and I like it because honestly, like we said, our expectations were super low, right? Like I had no expectations whatsoever, and I was just starting to get angry. And then like they made, the first couple moves, and I'm like, all right, I see what they're doing here. And now I'm fully back in excited mode. I still want them to do, a couple other things, but so far so good. So far so good.
Yeah, they've been pretty active. Not most notably the Christian Kirk move that just happened within the last 2 hours or so. Before we went live, I told you I had to change my thumbnail and my title, and my description. So, man, the Niners receiving core from just even 2 years ago is so different now. If you think about it, like, we lost, we got rid of Debo. Aiyuk's out the door. Juwan Jennings still looking for work, probably not coming back.
Yeah.
I'm almost definitely not coming back.
Nope.
And now the Niners have a pretty young group of guys in the receiving core, but they have two really good veterans. Both kind of had some injury issues last year, but both are, pretty productive.
Yeah.
One had a really good playoff in Christian Kirk, and then of course Mike Evans, other than last year, has been productive his whole career. So the Niners go with a ton of experience with those two guys, and then you couple that with the fact that they have Jordan Watkins, Princess Pearsall. If he could stay healthy next year, all of a sudden that is like, four really good receivers, or whatever. So, what do you think of the Christian Kirk move? He's got a little speed. And he's a slot guy too. He's really a slot receiver. What do you think about the Christian Kirk move? I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, look at for the value, you can't beat it, right? 1 year, $6 million. Who knows? I don't even know the contract details if that's even fully guaranteed or what it is, but you still can't beat it. And I honestly think he might be insurance for Pearsall. If he does go out of the game, Kirk can pretty much play the same position as Pearsall, run the same routes. And I think Kirk might actually be the fastest starting wide receiver that we would have, outside of Jordan Watkins or Cowing. But he brings much needed speed because that wide receiver core from last year was slow as molasses, and it was actually hard to watch sometimes. These guys just unable to separate, but at least this guy, he's shifty, he's still explosive, he still has his speed, and I think in Kyle Shanahan's offense, he will, blossom, and I think he's got potential to, do some damage this year. So hopefully he stays healthy. My whole thing is they got two wide receivers who wear number 13, and Brock Purdy's wearing 13. So there's going to be a little bit of a fight there going on. So
that's funny that you say that.
Yeah.
It's interesting, man. Like go from like a year last year where we had a lot of rookies on the team and a lot of inexperience to at least on the offense right now, we have a ton of experience. We talked about last year, like you talk, and I'm not going to stray too much into the defense, but like one of the things we talked about a lot, certain guys not, really showing that they're blue chippers. And I made a comment to you that maybe they just need to play with other players more veteran players, and maybe that'll help kind of like bring out what they really are as players. Because a lot of these 49er players last year, these rookies, a lot of them were out there by themselves. There was no Bosa, there was no veterans really. And so like they kind of were working on the fly. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so my whole thing is like they have at least with the receiving core, they have some guys that have been there and done that. And so maybe because Pearsall now is going to be kind of a background player, maybe Jordan Watkins to that, maybe it helps them kind of have the pressure be off of them. Because essentially, like, it's not a question they're not starting, or at least Watkins isn't starting. Like the defense last year just had so many young players with nobody helping. Like it was just like Collins and West and all these guys. And now this year they it's like they're insulating themselves. So essentially, you have a draft pick come in and he's not ready to start. It's okay. There's no pressure to have him start. And maybe he doesn't, because last year we had guys starting that maybe weren't quite ready and maybe would have been better as like a rotation with a good team. But because of so many injuries, like those guys had to come in and they kind of learned on the fly. So I'm kind of
and Kyle doesn't play offensive player rookies anyway, right? So this can redshirt them if he decides to draft him later on in the draft. But also too, my hope is that Ricky actually does step up this year because this is essentially a contract year for him. And so, usually guys in that contract year, they suck it up a little bit more. They try to push through. They try to perform to get those numbers up so they can get that payday. So, I mean, if everything works in the Niners' favor, we got Mike Evans, Kirk, Pearsall, and then we actually have, we have Demarcus Robinson, and then, these rookies from last year. It's a decent wide receiver core. And honestly, it is a little sad that we're excited about getting a Christian Kirk, right? Compared to like, our super teams that we had, the Avengers back in the day. But this is what we've come down to because last year was that bad where anyone is an upgrade.
Last year we had no depth and no money to really spend on any depth. So like it was like me and Sterling talked about if the Niners had any injuries last year that they were right.
Yeah, because there was no depth.
Right. And then a lot of people got on me for that. I'm like, I'm just telling you guys, like if Bosa goes down, so and so, and everyone's like, don't put that out there. Don't put that energy out there. And then it happened. And there was really nobody to come in and say, like, hi, I'm going to take the place of Nick Bosa. It was like, oh, we got to go sign street guys that haven't played, guys who are inactive. And like I said, at least with the wide receiver core. And both of these deals are if you look at these deals, that 1 year, $6 million.
You can't
Christian
beat
Kirk.
That, Aaron.
Well, let me bring up the. Do
you have the details?
Here's here's the Mike Evans deal. Okay. So it's 3 years, $42 million. It was first reported at like 3 years, $60 million, right?
Yep.
14.3 million guaranteed, 2 million more injury guaranteed, and then 1 year. What does it say? 1 year, 14.3 million. Practice. I don't know what that means. So like the actual deal per year cap hit. So 2026, 4.25 million, 2027, 7.3, 2028, 9.7, and 2029 is about 7 million, and it's a void year. They've basically paid nothing for him.
That's crazy.
And we get
like
on
there
the
wasn't
Niners,
a market for him at all. Like, come on.
That he didn't care about the money. And most guys say that, but he literally didn't care about the money. He really has a lot to say positively about Brock Purdy. And Lori, yeah, I am excited. I'm concerned still because they're bringing in a lot of guys with age and mileage. But if they can uplift some players, like if CJ West and Collins take a leap up this year, playing hopefully with a healthy Bosa, a healthy Osa, the guy we got from Dallas, Mike Hell comes back, and then we add some stuff in the draft as well, maybe another free agent. It could be awesome. Like it just last year we were so like one injury away, and literally everybody who was worth the shit on this team got hurt last year.
Yeah.
The one guy that didn't get hurt was Christian McCaffrey, and we buried him into the ground last year.
Yeah, beat the living shit out of the guy, and he's the only one that stayed healthy. Unbelievable.
Yeah, so to say that I am excited, Lori, and you know me, I'm pretty negative. I wanted the Niners to feel like they had a pulse this offseason. That's the only thing I was really like, hello, are we doing something? Like, I'm not saying, like, and I even said it. I was like, you don't have to make the Crosby trade. I'm not asking for that.
But do it now. Now do it.
But now do it, right? Still do it. But like, somebody made a comment that the Niners are a Max Crosby away the other day from winning a championship. I don't know if it was on Xbox X or on here on the YouTube, and I was like, no, not really. They need a lot more players. He would be like the icing on the cake. But the fact that they like made moves and they've been active has been pretty awesome. So
yeah, I'm definitely about it. I'm happy that they're doing something, because I think the fan base is just so eager just to get some type of excitement because of how bad the season went last year. Like, yeah, they finished with a good record, but it was just like a torturous season, So I think it's good that we actually got some players in here, some playmakers that give Brock a chance to shine, and hopefully we can do something with it.
Hey, Peter Parker says that's what they needed, though, Aaron. They needed quality reps, and now we know we have great young core in the middle of Collins and West. It's true. It is. Whether they're blue chip prospects or not, they got massively important reps last year, and they were solid. Yeah. They weren't like incredible, but they weren't like bad. They weren't like, man, that's a miss. Like, wow, those guys don't belong on an NFL field. No, but also like it was just they didn't have any depth last year. And now again, there's another draft. Maybe they sign another defensive tackle in the draft. Maybe they draft another edge on top of if they make another free agent move. It's cool to see. It's cool to see them insulating the team with some veterans. Lori says they still have money to sign someone else that gives them a little freedom in the draft. Absolutely. And then there's the caveat of all caveats every single year. If they can stay healthy early, it gives these young guys a chance to help develop and can contribute. Again, Lori, it's always the caveat. And I'm Mr. Negative when I say that, but people are like, why do you always have to put that in front of everything? I'm like, because it's a real problem.
Yeah.
The whole, absolutely. If they stay, it's funny. Dre and Sterling used to kind of fight me on it. And now, like, even when they're talking about new moves, both of them say, if we can stay healthy, like everybody's kind of like, I guess Aaron was right. Like, that is the biggest thing. Like,
these stuff, asses don't want to change their training staff or do anything different in their, the way that they're rehabbing their players. And so, like, what's going to happen? History is probably going to repeat, unfortunately.
Scuba Pat, they have a whole left guard. Yeah, and it's funny that you say that because I didn't have it as a topic, but like Ben Bartch is out there on the market, which I didn't think. I thought the Niners had, re-sign him, or he was a sure bet to come back. I hope he doesn't come back. I don't know if he's sniffing around with the Lions. I thought the rumor said. Ben Bartch can kick rocks.
Yeah,
he's a good player.
Like what, 4 games or something?
Yeah, he's a good player. He just like every time he steps on the field, he gets re-injured. It's not even like an over exaggeration. Like everybody says that.
Yeah,
they're like, Ben Bartch, he's really good when he's healthy, but he can't last more than like a quarter or two. So,
yeah,
man, we are more like Max Crosby and an O-line away from a Super Bowl. Hey, at least you know what? You have that free to have that opinion because, I mean, like I said before, like it's cool to have all these veteran moves that we make, but it concerns me if we're going to depend on these guys like way too much. Like having Christian be as old as he is, Kittle as old as he is, Mike Evans, Kirk's 29. Christian, like I said, it concerns me. That's why next year with having these guys on the team, Ricky Pearsall has no pressure on him.
Oh yeah.
Now he's got 2 veterans around him. Just stay healthy, bro. Like,
yeah, just stay healthy.
Who knows? Maybe Mike Evans gets a lot of attention even in his old age, and you have a lot of one-on-one.
He definitely will get a lot of attention. I mean, there's nobody else to draw the attention away. I mean, Mike Evans, when healthy, Mike Evans is a stud. Yeah, he's a little bit older, but he still can produce, you know.
One thing that happened to spur things on was the Nick Bosa contract rework. They said that they converted $21 million into guarantees, and they saved themselves about $17 million in cap, which pushed them into the 40 million plus cap range as far as being under the cap. I saw somebody make a comment the other day about the Niners being in trouble because of the Purdy contract, and I'm like, actually, you're pretty inaccurate on that one. They're actually okay, at least for this year. So
yeah,
calm down.
I mean, I think they have to roll over like 20 plus or something like that for next year.
Like, I wouldn't use, like, everybody's like, oh, go sign this person and this person. I wouldn't use all the cap that we have left this year. I'd resign Trent because we don't have another choice. And I would bring in, I know this is going to be another old guy that a lot of people are going to scoff at, but I would bring in the ex-Saints defensive end. His name is escaping me right now. I know you.
Yeah. Oh, really?
1 year deal.
Over Bosa?
Yes. I don't want Joey Bosa here. I'd rather have, come on, guys, help me in the comments. You know the defensive end I'm talking about. Is it Cam Jordan? Yeah. Thank you.
Cam Jordan.
Yes, I would rather have Cam Jordan than Joey Bosa because I think Cam Jordan is still productive. Joey Bosa is just a name. Cam Hayward. Move like that. But then, like, who wouldn't have wanted like a younger player? But it's just not going to happen.
Bosa didn't grade out too bad last year. He led the league in forced fumbles. I want to say he had a pretty decent pressure rate. I think I want to say he ranked like 17th in the NFL out of edge defenders. His run defense was a little bit more to be desired. I know he had a lot of missed tackles, but he had some pretty big plays last year.
Big Brick said the majority of the veterans free agents are 1 year deals. Yeah, and that's how it should be. That's how it should be. Like that, when you're trying to win a Super Bowl or you're trying to be competitive, if you're going to sign veterans, you're never going to sign them to a long-term deal. I mean, look at the Rams now, all of a sudden, possibly trying to move off freaking Devontae Adams. They'd probably get younger at that position, and it's just like that's just how it is with veterans, man. Like, veterans are veterans for a reason. Like, anybody worth a crap, Mike, that's young, they're never going to hit the market and be gotten for a discount. They're going to be gotten for a ton of money. Yeah. And that would be dumb for the Niners to be like, let's go sign Alec Pierce and Max Crosby and then you're already out of money because you just blew your stack on two guys. Or, like I said before, quantity over quality. Yeah, it's cool to have the Max Crosby if you're a Max Crosby away from winning a championship. But when you have a lot of holes on your roster and a lot of depth problems like the 49ers, quantity's great. And then if they hit on the draft this year and this 2 years ago's draft with like Renardo Green and those guys start to ascend, and last year's draft class ascends, and then this year, like, all of a sudden now you have like a young core in some places with veterans to kind of like even it out. So the Niners are doing it the right way. It's just a matter, like we said, of health.
Yeah, true, very true.
What do you think? What did you think about the Bosa restructure?
Yeah, I know they have to move around some money. I just don't understand how they're gonna do it next year. Like, they owe him $55 million next year. Like, are they gonna restructure that too, or like how are they gonna do that? I don't even understand how that's possible.
I'm gonna say something that's really unpopular, but when Matt Maiocco was talking about in the next couple of years, like, things are going to start to change with the core, and that you're going to see some veterans kind of go bye-bye.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people could be like, oh, you're crazy. Based on the amount of injuries he's had and his age, getting where he is, I wouldn't mind moving off of Nick Bosa. Not because
why restructure him though?
I don't know. Maybe just for this year. Maybe it's just for this year. The reason I say that is because, like, man, he's productive when he's healthy, but it's just three knee tears and since high school, you know what I mean? And the way he plays doesn't really give itself to like not being hurt because he plays so hard, so fast all game.
Like
I don't
like
know.
like remember they did the same thing with Armstead, right? They restructured him right before they got rid of him, and they took on all this dead money for like no reason whatsoever. Like, what would be the point of doing all that just to cut him or try to trade him next season? Because you are going to take a kick in the, you know what, for absolutely no reason if that's the plan.
What I would do is he's going to have to be willing to take less. He can't get himself a max. I'm sorry, you cannot give somebody a max contract who's had two knee tears since 2020. He's blown out the same knee twice.
No, I'm 100% with you. I'm just trying to see what are they thinking by doing this move. Like, what is their plan? Not what should happen or what they should do, whatever. Like,
I don't know.
Why put $55 million all on next year if maybe they plan on moving on? Like, I don't understand the move unless they plan on keeping him.
It's a good question. I don't know. I don't know why would you have all that money on him. You know they're not going to pay him that.
They can't. That's like
they're going to they'll do something with that. They'll convert it or add some void years or something.
Anybody in the chat have an idea of what they could do with that? Because I'm confused. I have no idea.
Scuba Pat agrees with me. He thinks the Niners should move on from Bosa. If he just would stay healthy, I would have a totally different opinion of him.
Yeah.
My thought is Joey would bring the best out of Nick and vice versa. Brothers finally playing together and try and compete with each other out in every play. Could be dangerous. I don't feel that way. To me, it's. I don't want to sound like Grant Cohn or the Cohn clique and just shit on all the positivity and talk crap about my team, but this is just this is just my personal. I'm not trying to push a narrative. I don't have a big enough channel for a narrative or a platform. So it definitely isn't that. It's just 5 years ago, 3 years ago. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, not so much.
To me, like, I think Joey Bosa is the best free agent defensive end available on the market right now. And I do agree with that comment. If he does come on the team, I do believe that elevates both of them. And I think that brings a little extra swag to the team, kind of like, Greenlaw and Warner. Even though they're not brothers, they're as close as you can get, right? He's Uncle Dre. So they're going to elevate each other. What I would want them to do is trade for Jonathan Grenard. I think they really need to find a solid bookend opposite Bosa. And I think that would be a good move. And, he's a proven player. He has production and, he's not on the tail end of his career. And I think that would be like the better move. Like this whole 1 year rentals over and over and over. I'm not a fan of it. They need to solidify that bookend, that pass rusher. Joey Bosa still has stuff in the tank. I think he can be productive, but he's not my number one option. I would want them to trade for somebody, but if we have to go free agent market, I think he's my guy that I would pick for the free agent.
Yeah, I mean, if the price is right, I guess, Mike, I'm not going to be mad about it.
Obviously,
we have our expectations. What happens when you see a lot of big names is people will get like, oh my God, and they think of that player 5 years ago. And that's okay because we all do it. When I first saw Mike Evans, my initial response was like, wow, Mike Evans. And then I'm like, oh wait, Mike Evans, had some injuries last year. He's a little older. He's going to be 33 by the time the season starts. So as excited as I got, I'm like, oh, okay, I got to be realistic about this one.
Yeah.
They want a first for Grenard. Yeah, Grenard would be the optimal move.
They want a first?
That's not happening.
What?
That's what I heard. You said
really?
There's another nickname for him. It's called the Grand Cone Cinematic Universe, kind of like the MCU.
Oh,
There's a lot of that's my favorite one of all time, the cinematic universe. Yeah.
Leonard Floyd never did anything for me.
Leonard Floyd to me was just a lot of people say he was kind of like what do you call like a guy that gets like cheap sacks,
yeah, the cleanup guy.
like a cleanup guy.
Yeah.
He's not really an actual real pass rusher.
Yeah.
Like how does he get 10 sacks every year? Oh, he just happens to be the guy when the other guy misses, and he just that's who he is. Just Pockets. I love your name, by the way. I always wonder if you're a friend of mine or a ex coworker of mine whose nickname was Pockets. And I don't know why, but I think with all these additions, they go trenches in the draft. Yeah, Mike. If I'm much as we need a safety, and maybe a left guard. If I'm the 49ers and there's a good and even tight end, I'm still going edge at 27. They need pass rush. I'm sorry.
It's a massive
I know everybody
right now.
We just need it. You can never have enough good pass rushers.
Yeah.
Even if the Niners were killing it right now and they've had really good drafts and all that stuff, I'm all about every year bringing in some pass rush because it's a rushing cover game. And the Niners secondary, they're not great, but they were a whole lot worse looking last year because there was no pass rush ever.
Yeah.
When a guy has 8 seconds to throw, I don't care if you have Dion and Rod Woodson back there and Ed Reed. It doesn't matter. I mean, Dion maybe because he's like uber fast, but we need to go young at defensive end in the draft. Having 2 brothers on the team can be disruptive if the other players feel that they're receiving special treatment. I didn't even think about that.
I wouldn't worry about that on this team.
The Niners have too good of a
locker room
organization and locker room that would not be a problem. And plus, they're both old now. It's not like they're coming in here and
they just want to win a Super Bowl. That's all they want.
Guys only care about trying to win. Fred Warner could all this about the dumb rumor that Fred Warner trade rumor that these idiots were trying to push. They brought back Dre Greenlaw. So dumb.
Yeah.
Speaking of Dre Greenlaw,
big play Dre.
That was a move that happened last week that I was like, no, don't do it. He's always hurt. Now let me preface this by saying,
but you love him.
I love Dre Greenlaw.
Yeah.
I reposted a video the other day that had Forgot About Dre from Dr. Dre and Eminem, and it was the perfect video song for the video because it reminded me, who's Mr. Skeptical, just how much I loved him as a player. Just all the big highlights in the video. He got pick 6. He got freaking the move against Seattle and all this other stuff. So again, a low money deal. 1 year.
Low risk, high reward.
Low risk, high reward. They have a lot of youth on defense. Their secondary is really young, and their defensive line is really young. I'm okay with having a linebacking core that is a little long in the teeth.
Yes.
You're not going to be young everywhere.
The way that those 2 play together, like it's cerebral between them, right? They can play without saying anything. They know each other so well.
Neither has to worry about the other.
Exactly.
Being in the wrong place.
Fred's not worried about
D
winners running all over the place doing something stupid.
How many times did you see Fred Warner last year before he got hurt doing this?
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yep.
Because guys are always out of position, screwing up.
Yep.
Like I said, they're young on secondary. They have a young secondary. They have a young corners or young second. I already said that. Their defensive line, other than Nick Bosa, pretty young.
Yeah.
The guy we got from Dallas is going to be 28 this year.
Yeah.
So I'm okay. Like, you're not going to be young everywhere on your team. That's just not realistic. To be young and be like, oh, we got to just build through the draft. Not everywhere. You got to have some veterans, because if you have a young team all throughout, you're going to struggle. You got to have some guys that know their job and kind of set the example for the rest. What was your take on the Greenlaw move? As I stopped babbling.
I mean, look, I love Dre Greenlaw with like a passion. I love that man. Like when he left, I was very, very sad. And, obviously my biggest nightmare was him going to, a division rival like the Cowboys or Seattle or the Rams or something like that. Like, I just did not want to see that happen. And I know, when he was in Denver, obviously he was hurt a lot again. So I do expect him to be hurt a lot again. But when he is on the field, this man is a demon. Okay. He puts fear in offenses. Like, they have to account for him. They have to know where this man is at all times, and he will blow up an entire offense. And I think we saw it firsthand, 2 years ago when, he was out for a long time and we were getting smoked by the Rams. I think it was like the end of the season, and he came in for like a handful of plays and just blew everything up. And then he got hurt again and went back out. And it was just like, dude, this guy is just a game wrecker. And I love Dre, and I hope he can please stay healthy. And I think it's a tide that's going to elevate everybody, right? It's going to elevate the defensive line. It's going to elevate Warner. It's going to elevate the DBs. Our run defense should be a hell of a lot better. He can cover in space, against tight ends, when the Rams started throwing out tight ends on us and we couldn't even cover them. I think it's a great move. I'm praying to the football gods. Please give us a full season of Dre Greenlaw and let's see what happens.
Yeah, the gods need to also let us have a year with not a lot of injuries.
Yeah. Well, they did, and then in the Super Bowl, they all came at one time.
It started in that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The thing with Dre Greenlaw and other people, somebody told me, they're like, okay, Aaron, here's it. So yeah, say he only plays 8 games. He's like, how important are those 8 games? If we, how much of an effect would it have if we didn't have them in those 8 games? And I was like, touche. Okay, I see what you're saying. Like, even if it's 8 games, those 8 games could be the difference between a playoff berth and not a playoff berth.
100%.
Playing with a bunch of Goombas that don't know whether to crap or wind their watch on defense. Was a lot of these young players last year. That it's amazing, D. Winters, how bad he became once Fred disappeared.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Oh, it was,
and then Nick
Martin,
Grand
Canyon cliff fall off.
Dude, it was like, it was like he wasn't even the same person.
No.
What was I? Oh, Lori Matthews. I'm sorry. She says sometimes these guys have to learn the grass isn't always green on the other side. Sometimes chemistry is the most important thing. It's like relationships, man.
Very
like
true.
Husband or wife or girlfriend or boyfriend. Like, sometimes people think that they got to go be with somebody else, and then they realize that they had an amazing connection with the other person, and maybe, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's the same thing. Like, these players, like, well, I want to get paid, and then they go to a place that doesn't have the same culture, and they're like, damn, like, what was that all about? Chris, Mr. 49ers says Nick Martin will probably retire before the season. You know what, bro? It's funny that you say that because I've thought about that too. The fact that it took him, like 2.5 months to recover from a concussion is really weird, scary. Huh? That's scary, bro.
Yeah.
You can die from a concussion if it's bad enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not even trying to be facetious or funny. Like, and I know Chris probably isn't either. Like, that's a legitimate thing to think about. Like, what if he was an interesting draft pick and exciting? A lot of people thought it was an overdraft for where they got him, but I was kind of excited about it because of the speed and his closing speed. Problem is he's really, really all over the place and misses a ton of tackles.
Yeah.
Like, in the preseason, he would have a game where, like, he looked like, wow, it's Dre Greenlaw 2.0, and then he'd miss 7 tackles. It's like, oh, geez. Oh, geez. This is probably why they brought back Greenlaw. Yeah. Who was that? That was a smokescreen. He was in the same style as Doghouse. Who's that?
Martin.
Niners, you never know, unfortunately, Mike. Yeah. Sometimes they say injuries, and it could just be somebody falling out of love with some player.
Very true.
Remember Kyle's super convoluted answer of why Jordan Watkins didn't play last year?
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, just say that you don't have any faith in him.
Yeah.
And stop trying to give us all he was hurt, and then, the moon turned blue.
Like,
yeah, like,
get opportunities and take advantage of it.
Yeah, that's your fault. You draft guys. Stop drafting receivers if you don't want to play them.
Yep.
That's the one thing about Kyle. I love him to death. That's the thing about him that I want to like punch a freaking wall is like this whole thing where you draft receivers and they can never be developed. The only one that developed was Aiyuk, and he turned out to be a head case. Go figure, right?
And they should have got CeeDee Lamb instead, but no.
Vikings wanted a first-round pick for Addison. No thanks. Kirk is much better. Room fit. Addison comes cheaper. Addison's also a freaking in trouble with the law every other week, getting arrested and stuff. The Niners don't need. If you're gonna waste draft capital or money on a guy, at least have him be available. If he's a freaking malcontent who's always getting in trouble, screw off. Nobody wants that. What we got here? So we had some stuff happen over free agency. We resigned Eddie Pinheiro. I know you were happy about that. But the thing that Mike was really happy about, guys, is we got a new punter.
Yes.
Carlos Waitman, ex-Steeler, left-footed punter. Not the greatest upgrade, but Mike did not like Thomas Morstead.
He was like, look, Thomas, he did his job, but he was fading pretty hard at the end of the year, and I don't know what was going on with his leg, but it was not good enough, and
pretty bad.
It was
the only one that noticed it too.
Yeah, and I was in the camp of replacing him almost immediately, and yes, this new guy, he's not the greatest, but he is an upgrade, though. I do believe he is an upgrade, and that's all you can ask. Just get 1% better, right? I'm good with it. Somebody new and young.
Well, I mean, and I don't even think that there was a thing that they moved on from Morstead. Like they cut him. He actually retired.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he just got remarried too or something. So maybe the Niners might have probably ended up keeping him. So Mike, you got lucky. He decided to retire.
Absolutely.
Who thought we'd be excited for a team that had Mish Wisnowski and friggin' Jake Moody at one point? You don't understand as a 49er fan, if you're not a 49er fan, how important it is to have special team continuity.
Oh my gosh.
It's such a big problem with the 49ers.
Are so spoiled that, they didn't have to go through that.
I don't know if I saw anything, but about trading back multiple times. Trading back multiple times is great, but if it's too many times, it's a little bit annoying to me. I don't know what just happened to my screen here. There we go. I'm just I like when free agency addresses a lot of things, like we said before. Then you could just like go into the draft and be like, best player available. Oh, it's a tight end. Okay. I'll tell you what. I know this is one of the topics, but if there's a tight end available that is like really, really good, Mike.
Yep.
I know we need edge. Would you take a tight end that could become a weapon? Me too.
1,001%.
What about you guys? What do you guys in the comments think? If there was a game changing or a really good receiving tight end, and who could be the heir apparent to George Kittle, even though we could probably use an edge rusher or a safety, would you make that move? As much as I want to say that edge, man, it would be nice.
We still need a tight end. A tight end is still a hole in this team. Like Luke Farrell is not a tight end for us in the future. Tonjes, yes, he's pretty good. I'm hoping he gets better, especially in the run game and blocking. But you still need another tight end because technically, with George out, you only really have one. Willis, he doesn't count. To me, he's not even a factor. So you really only have one tight end with George Kittle out. And who knows? This could be his last year, or next year it could be his last year. You need to find that weapon. And in Kyle Shanahan's offense, tight end is so important.
The 10XU says we don't need a tight end. We got Tonjes. Yeah, Tonjes is a nice depth piece, but I would love to have. Look at the Rams always having multiple tight ends.
Yeah,
I don't think people realize. If the Niners decided not to draft a wide receiver this year because they have a guy like Watkins and Pearsall, and they went tight end as a receiving option, I'd be totally fine with that. Here's the thing: will Kyle play him?
Touche.
What kind of bullshit reason is he going to find to put him in a doghouse? He slept. He fell asleep at a meeting. He picked the anchovies off the team pizza. Like what garbage? Kyle is always there's always something like, dude, just let guys play.
And having dynamic tight ends, I think that might be the way that you attack the Rams anyway, because that might be the one hole that they have on their team is maybe linebacker, because everywhere else they're just stacked at the brim. So like if you can line up, a really good tight end against one of their linebackers, that's a winning formula. And I don't know.
Would you go for a free agent tight end? Like I forget that guy's name. Nagohu.
Oh, honestly, I do think they have to sign. Like, I feel like they need to do something at tight end still, because we don't know when George is coming back. And if Tonjes goes down, like, what are they going to do? Their whole offense is going to implode because it revolves around a tight end so much, whether it's blocking, having that eligible receiver in the run game and in the pass game. Like, it'll blow up the entire offense if Tonjes goes down.
Chris, Mr. 49er says, we have starters at every position but edge rusher. No, we need a left guard, and we need a free safety. And yeah, we got some holes, Chris.
Yeah.
We got some nice depth pieces, some older guys, but they need a free safety. I'm sorry. Somebody asked early in the comments, I hope you're still here, about Jair Brown. He needs to go. He is awful. He is awful. Everyone's like, oh, he did well in the Super Bowl. Yeah, okay. That was 2 years ago.
And he was playing with the top defense.
Yeah. He had Bosa and he had a bunch of other guys up front rushing the passer, so I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is I think it's Nagoku, some weird name. All these guys have names I can't pronounce. Juice could always fill a tight end spot temporarily, but it wouldn't be ideal. There's another player on this team that I wish they would move on from. Kyle Juszczyk.
They can't have Juice line up as the tight end blocking these massive defensive ends. He's there for like good chip blocks or like double teaming, but he would have to take on these guys one-on-one. And that can't happen. That's just not feasible.
What the heck was I going to ask you? What do you think about the 49ers not releasing Brandon Aiyuk and kind of, even if they get a 7th-round pick, kind of, making him, what do you call it? Making him crawl like he's
hold on to him forever. I don't give a shit. Make him
like a lot of people are like, I need somebody say that the Niners that's why they're this and they're that and they suck because they're trying to get value out of us. They should have got, when they could have got a 1st round a couple of years ago when they were thinking about trading him or whatever. That's like, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
He had a productive 2023 season. He was really good. Yeah. They overpaid for him, but he played amazing in 2023.
He did. He was a baller. He was 1,400 yards and how many touchdowns? But
yeah,
honestly, I don't see this as a petty move. I think they're saying they're justifying to the public, oh, we're trying to hold on to him to get a draft pick. They know they're not going to get a draft pick. They know once he's released, he's going straight to Washington, and he's going to play with Jaden Daniels. He's going to get his way. He's going to, have fun again, and he doesn't deserve that.
Yeah.
It's not being petty. It's doing, this guy stole like $40 million from the team.
Yeah.
Had no intention of fulfilling his contract, acted like a girl, came back after even getting paid all that money, refused to even be a captain. Like nobody wanted him to be a captain because he's so pouty and just like he's just not a leader. He was, the short gate thing where he didn't want to, lead by example. He came back really unprepared, dropping balls, running the wrong routes, pouting on the sideline. Like, no, he stole money from the organization. They, in good faith, paid him and had a contract. He didn't fulfill that. So you know what, bro? Sorry, we're not going to just be like, oh, you stole $40 million from me. Let's just let bygones be bygones and go on your way and have fun in Washington. No, dude.
I think someone is going to end up trading for him. A 7th-round pick for a guy that could be a number 1 receiver.
And no, you know why, Aaron? Because they know he's only going to go. He only wants to go to one place.
Right.
He only wants to play in one place.
But what if to me, it's a low cost, high reward type move. So like a team could say, yeah, I'll take him. You want a 7th round pick to go get a weird offensive lineman that you're never going to play? Go ahead. Like,
but he's not going to want to play for them. He's going to want to play for one team. That's the thing.
They don't have to give him what he wants, though.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, it's not about what he wants. It's not about where he wants to go. Send him to NFL Siberia. You know, if a team like the Browns was like, hey, we'll make a move on him for a 7th round pick, I would send him there in a heartbeat. But I would punish him.
These teams are not going to do that, though. They're
not
going to, you know what I mean? Because they know Brandon Aiyuk wants to go one place only. So, like, as a team that, you know, wants to try to get him, I'm not going to go trade for him unless I talk to him face to face and like, bro, are you good? Because what if he gets pissy after the first week and he's like, oh, I don't like this offense. I don't like this quarterback. Like, you can't. No team would risk that. They know where he wants to go. It's one place only. And the Niners, I think, are just saying they're holding on to try to get a 7th rounder when they know they're not, and they just want to fuck them. You know, like, hey, you did us dirty. Now we're gonna do you dirty.
It's a great one. 765 says, "Oh, stop whining. Aiyuk didn't steal anything. He gave the money back and was paid while he was recovering from injury. Boo-hoo. Stop being sheep and believing whatever the team tells you."
He gave the money back.
He got some of it. He kept some of that money though, but
he kept quite a bit.
This whole thing that that he didn't screw the team over, he absolutely did. He was a selfish prick.
Did. Absolutely. And the shorts thing, that's only the one thing that we know about, right? Like little acts of aggression like that, like microaggressions, I guess you can say, right? Who knows how he was in the meetings, if he was dysfunctional and disruptive behind the scenes. We don't know all that stuff yet. We only saw what we saw, and that's not the only thing that happened. I guarantee it.
Kenny 49er says, release BA, don't be petty. Is this where you want to be when Jesus comes back? I'm all about being petty in certain situations.
Okay, let's say if somebody stole $40 million from you, how would you react? Yeah, I'm gonna be a little bit more than okay. Go have fun with your friends, kid.
Right, like this.
Like, no, dude.
This dude straight up quit on them after getting paid. Didn't do what the team asked as far as recovery. Was a horrible teammate.
Yeah.
A pouty, bad attitude, horrible body language type of guy. They got some money back, but he still walked away with some money. I don't know what the exact cap figures are, but they are still paying him money.
He didn't give it to him. They took it back.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not like he walked up with a big old check from, here you go, guys. Like, and you don't even hear any of his teammates sticking up for him, really, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's all over with.
Yeah, they're like,
if it was just a John Lynch issue or Kyle, a lot of the players who are defending him don't really talk about him anymore.
No,
he quit on them. Let's stop acting like it isn't what happened. He quit. This man straight quit so they can be petty. Why not? They own his rights. If they want to, shoot, I'd freaking not even trade him. I wouldn't do anything with him this year. I would just sit and let him freaking marinate in hatred and anger.
I mean, you have to cut him like right at the right before the season, because then that money becomes guaranteed on his contract. So but you just hold on to him to that very last day.
I just think it's funny when people say he didn't, don't be petty. I would absolutely be petty.
Okay, wait till somebody steals that much money from you, and then we'll see.
Exactly. And people are like, well, okay, I'll put it this way. If you ran a business and somebody forwarded you a check, like say the boss forwarded you a check, I don't even know how I can make this an analogy. I'll just say like the guy might have forwarded you a check because he knew that what you were going to do for him in the future, and then you decided like not to work for him, or you disappeared and you had that money. Like, I don't know if there was any way I could stick it to that person for taking my money, I would. I wouldn't sit there and be like, oh, it's okay. Go ahead, take my money. I'm okay with it. No, I'd be petty as F if I could take that person to court and sue them for all they're worth. I'm going to do that. So,
yeah, people want to get on their high horse and act like they wouldn't do the same thing when it's not their money. Okay, we'll see.
The Juwan Jennings not being resigned or not being assigned situation. What does that do for you?
I mean, I wanted an upgrade at Juwan, for Juwan, because just his speed and just he didn't match up with Seattle well at all. So I was hoping for an upgrade that we can actually fight Seattle with. Is Christian Kirk that guy? Probably not, but we're not paying him $20 million a year, and he does have a little bit of speed, and maybe he can separate a little bit more than Juwan. But I'll always have a soft spot in my heart for JJ. I don't know why his market just didn't develop. I think maybe because of his speed. I don't know, but yeah, it just it's obviously he's not coming back now with Kirk signing. But I wish him all the best, and as long as he doesn't go to a team I don't like.
Somebody made a point that you can draft a guy like him every single year. That's what a lot of people have been saying. Like, you could draft a guy like him every single year, a big, slow slot possession guy. So nobody's going to pay for that.
Yeah.
His skill set isn't something that you can't find in the draft.
Yeah.
Hence why the Niners got a smaller, slightly older version in Christian Kirk to do the exact same thing. He has a little bit more speed. So and he's got paid before because he actually is he's played X too. So why would you pay for something that you were played? That's when people sometimes make and I know Pearsall really hasn't shown anything when people are like, oh, this guy is doing this and he could do this. And it's like, unless somebody's out of this world great, there's nothing that says that you can't go in the draft the following year and go replace that guy. Unless he's like a Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, a once in a generation player who can't be replaced.
Yeah.
Nobody's worth. You can't say there's a lot of these guys you could find in the draft every single year. There's Juwan Jennings all over the place, Kendrick Bourne's all over the place. There's certain players that you can't replace, So
yeah,
this whole thing he thought he had a market, and apparently he didn't, because Kyle Shanahan had to make him look really good, like a lot of players that play here. Kyle kind of makes sometimes guys, the old saying, to make chicken salad out of chicken shit, or make average players look incredible in his offense, and then they go other places and they're not as effective and stuff. Yep. So, Lori Matthews says, I'm one of the most optimistic people out there, and I don't think the Niners are being petty one bit. This is a business, and he is supposed to be professional. Honor your contract. Exactly. And David McNiner said he did not give money back. The Niners voided his 2026 guaranteed $27 million. That's it. So he stole a whole other.
Yeah.
I would love to know the facts, the cash or the contract that he actually still getting paid to do nothing, because I'm sure it's quite a bit.
I think they broke it down. He got like $2 million per catch. It was absurd.
Lloyd Vance says JJ skill set still fits better with the Niners than on other teams. Be more of a third down guy. Be more of a third down guy on another team. I think the Christian Kirk signing closed the door on it. That's all I want to say. I think that's pretty much over.
Honestly.
What else we got left here before we get out of here? Jennings. Okay. We'll end it with this. Let's do an off-season. Let's do a grade so far for free agency as we're heading into the draft. What would you give the 49ers?
As of today, I would give the Niners a solid B. I think A plus, hitting it out of the park. That's you're making some big splashes, maybe a new center, someone really, really good that I really want, on offensive line or something. But the fact that they haven't addressed the left guard position yet, I think, is a big hole. And it literally cost them the playoff game. I mean, that offensive line is getting blown up, and they still haven't addressed it. I mean, you could say they addressed it with those two picks, but those aren't necessarily upgrades. Those look like more depth pieces. And I really wanted to see an upgrade on the offensive line in free agency. So that would be my grade. I would say a solid B. You know, they filled some holes. They got, you know, obviously their wide receiver core is a massive upgrade from last year. Getting Oso from Dallas is a home run hit to me. What a great trade value for that. And you know, adding Christian Kirk today, good move. Doesn't really move the needle, but it's a good depth piece, and why not? That's a kind of a why not move, you know, and insurance for Ricky Pearsall.
I would give him a B minus. And the only reason I would give him a B minus is, like you said, there's a couple moves that places that they haven't addressed. One of them being left guard. And then the other being, as much as I think that they get an A plus for being active, I give them a B minus strictly because they're bringing in guys that are a little long in the tooth, and they've had some injury concerns. That takes it to a B minus. If they were bringing in guys who didn't have like some injury concerns, I would definitely have it as a solid B or maybe even a B plus. So the fact that they haven't addressed the left guy, and I know they can still do something, and everyone's like, well, that's why I said right now, B minus right now. It turned into a B plus. A plus would have been like Max Crosby and, you know, some other moves, like some solid moves. Like, I think a team who just gets Max Crosby, I don't think that's like an A plus offseason.
Yeah.
To me, a team that is like one player away who brings in a Max Crosby would have an A plus offseason because they already got what they need. Like having Christian McCaffrey come to the 49ers, even though it happened during the season, and a lot of people call that like a C plus move. That was an A plus move. He changed everything completely for this team and franchise for the last couple of years. So, B minus. They can do something with left guard in free agency. That would be awesome. It's cool that they got some depth, which is nice. I'm not like gonna crap on that because they definitely need some offensive line depth. Looks like they got themselves a what do they call the tackle? Swing tackle, and they have an interior guy. So that's two good things, right?
Yeah.
So to me, if they make one more move in free agency, oh man. They had to make one more move in free agency. I think either bring in another edge player or a guard.
It has to be edge. I mean, they don't have anybody. It has to be edge. Bryce Huff retired. Michael Williams is coming from a torn ACL. It has to be edge. There's no way around it. And I'm just really upset that they didn't upgrade the offensive line. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they got a body there. They added a free agent body, but he's not an upgrade. And I think that's one of the biggest holes that they had, and they didn't upgrade the line at all.
We may actually use our picks on offensive line. Not, what do you say? Not we really start rookies anyways. Not that we really start rookies anyways. If it's a first round pick, they need that guy needs to play like immediately. Like they picked the left guard at 27, he needs to start.
Yep.
No questions asked. Or if they draft a left tackle who could play left guard at 27, who eventually could be the future, I would be okay with that too. Like if the guy can play left guard really well, but can eventually be, you know, changed into a left tackle, that would be great. But I think I'll just say that the draft is a lot more interesting this year, Mike, because they're not as desperate as they were last year to have every pick hit. And I think maybe because of that, I think they might actually have a good draft personally.
Yeah.
But
I hope so.
Yeah, that's going to do it, guys. 49ers Unfiltered. We'll be back hopefully next week if there's other news to be told. And then we got the draft coming before you know it. So everybody, thanks for all the support. TikTok for some reason didn't work for me, so I didn't stream on there. But thanks for the support on X and YouTube. Mike, I'm sure you would appreciate it too. We're starting to see people trickle into your channel as well, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Till next time, everybody, stay safe and healthy. Go Niners, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
See you later.